Good morning. I've been thinking about taking steps and making decisions this week, and I just loved that Psalms. That was so good, and the offering was so good and touching. Today is a great day. It is so good to be in the house of the Lord, and look at you. Give yourselves a hand clap. Look, you're beautiful. We turn to Psalms 37, and I hope you turn to that in your Bibles. I'm going to be going there too. Just so happens we're on the same page here of that. And I've been thinking about the power of making a decision, the power of making a great decision, and the power of making a quiet decision. You don't have to shout out every decision that you make in life the first moment that you make it. The power of a quiet decision. Some of the most powerful shifts happen when no one even knows that they happened. A powerful shift can happen inside of you the moment that you make a decision, that you have that resolve going on. You don't have to post it. You don't have to prove it. You don't have to announce it. When you first make a decision, you just have to make that decision in your heart. And decisions happen in alignment. I choose to align with what God is inviting me into. What is God inviting you into? And get into alignment with that. Sometimes we can make decisions apart from the will of God. We need to make decisions that are in alignment with what God is inviting us into. So when I talk about decisions, I'm talking about decisions that are in alignment with God's will. It's so important. We don't just want to, just decide anything negative. We want to make great decisions. And this requires resolve, requires a calm. It's not about fireworks. Some of the biggest turning points in our lives start quietly. I think of Elijah, and when he was in the cave, and the Lord wasn't in the wind or in the earthquake. He was in the quiet, gentle whisper. Sometimes that quiet moment, that gentle whisper is what you need. What is the Lord inviting you into today? A decision in your heart that no one else even sees, something that happens inside. The decision to forgive when you're still hurting. Sometimes we're still hurting and we need to make that decision to forgive. The decision to stay committed when it would be easier to quit. We don't want to quit. We don't want to give up. Those moments aren't always emotional highs. Sometimes it's a quiet resolve, very calm, very quiet, very personal, because it's from the heart. Before your behavior changes, your heart decides. Before your habits change, your heart decides. Before your tone even changes, your heart decides. One of my favorite scriptures is Proverbs 4:23. Above all else, guard your heart. We make decisions from the bottom of our heart. It's where we make a great decision. And it says for us to guard our heart. Why? Because life flows from there. It is the wellspring of life. Proverbs 4:23, above all else, guard your heart. When you make a quiet decision, something settles. Internal division quiets. You're no longer torn between two directions. You've decided. The heart becomes steady, stable, surrendered. I think of those words, steady, stable, surrendered. One of my favorite words is to surrender, because that's how we stay in alignment with Christ. We look towards where he's leading us and we surrender to his will. Not my will, but your will be done. In Psalm 37, I told you we'd get there. In Psalm 37, let's turn there. I want to talk about commitment. And in verse 5, it says, commit your way to the Lord. But I want to share with you Psalm 37, 3-7. And I know we were there earlier. Commit yourself to the Lord. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and enjoy safe pasture. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in him, and he will do this. He will make your way righteous, shine like the dawn, the justice of your cause like the noonday sun. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Don't fret, even when men succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. That word commit your way to the Lord, trust in him. That word commit means roll over, to roll, to entrust, to decide, to roll away. Maybe there's a decision today that you've been circling around in your heart. And the greatest decision you can make is to live your life for the Lord, to accept the Lord. That's the greatest decision that you can make. And maybe something that God is calling you, he's just nudging at your heart, something that you know that you need to settle. Maybe it's forgiving someone. Forgiveness is so important. Maybe it's letting go of fear. Maybe it's stepping into something new, or maybe it's choosing to trust God in an area where you've been holding back. Some of us have been holding back parts of our lives, and some of us are just getting to know God now, just getting to make that decision for Christ now. But sometimes we wait for clarity before we make a commitment, but sometimes clarity follows commitment. Sometimes we've got to make that commitment, and then we can see what the Lord is doing, what he's doing. I'm going to trust him. I will obey. I'm going to move forward. I'm not going to drift. These decisions that you can make in your life can really send your life on a great part. Before God does something powerful around us, sometimes he decides something inside of us. Let's just take a moment and ask, what needs to be settled? What have I been postponing? What have I been withholding? And maybe right there, quietly, you decide. So this week, as we begin Good News, the new series, we enter the Easter season with a fresh commitment to the Lord. So lean in, show up, and open your hearts. I love you.